All right, besties, let's talk about Pluto retrograde happening in Aquarius from May 4th to October 12th and what exactly it means for you. Now, if you don't know, Pluto is the planet of power and control, transformation, death and rebirth, and the hidden things that we just aren't necessarily aware of. So, when Pluto goes retrograde, it's calling attention to the things that you have yet to transform, that you need to transform in order to be your most empowered self. And it also calls attention to the people, places, and things that hold power over you and where you may need to flip that power on its head and take your power back. Since Pluto is in Aquarius, this retrograde will be calling attention to power dynamics within technology, AI, our communities. That means our friend groups, our workplaces, our society as a whole, whatever state or country you live in could be called into question. Civil rights or other social justice topics may be very prevalent around this time, and whether or not we truly believe that these things should have certain power over us or redefine what role we play in these certain aspects of our lives. Now, keep in mind that Pluto is one of the slowest moving planets in our solar system, so this retrograde is not going to be as disruptive or impactful as, say, a Mercury retrograde that happens within the span of 2 weeks. Like I said, Pluto will be retrograde until October 12th, so these are going to be slow moving realizations and encounters and events that are going to be pushing you to become a different person, which is all really for the greater good or for your best good as well. I'm going to go ahead and break what you can expect down by each rising sign. So take a look at the comments below to see where your timestamp is, and I will see you there. Aries risings, Pluto will be retrograde in your 11th house of friendships, social circles, and long term goals, calling you to release any outdated connections or friendships that maybe you've just held on to a little bit too long and redefine what type of community you actually want to build or the type of future you want to build for yourself. You may feel really called to join some social movements or causes that reflect your values, and you may also be encouraged to work through any feelings of self worth or authenticity and what that looks like for you. Overall, this is a really good time to reevaluate your role in the collective and step into a leadership position on your own terms. Taurus risings, Pluto will be retrograde in your 10th house of career, authority, and public image, helping you redefine your role or expectations in these areas. This transit will likely highlight any power or control dynamics you have with bosses, authority figures, or institutions, and could also be making you face your own fear of failure. You may end up discovering some new dreams or goals and maybe people that align more with your mission for the future. And you may also feel the need to reinvent yourself or learn new skills that will help position you to eventually take on leadership positions. Gemini risings, Pluto will be retrograde in your ninth house, which is challenging your life philosophies, your open mindedness, and also shifting your relationship to the truth. This transit is essentially encouraging you to break free from beliefs that limit your potential. You also may have some significant breakthroughs with subconscious thoughts or behavioral patterns, and you may also realize that you want a career that's more aligned with some spiritual depth to it. And you may also find that these transformations are preparing you for the ability to share your experiences or wisdom as a leader or teacher of some kind. Cancer risings, Pluto will be retrograde in your 8th house of intimacy, power, loss, and shared resources. This transit is helping you confront fears surrounding vulnerability, dependency, and learning how to feel empowered through what it is that you give and receive, either emotionally, financially, or energetically. This is a great time to work on eliminating any debts you might have, but you also may experience some drastic changes in the communities or friend groups you align yourself with, as well as the causes and goals you pursue. Leo risings, Pluto will be retrograde in your 7th house of one on one or close relationships. This can be romantic, platonic, or business, and you may be learning how to navigate themes of control, projection, and what truly balanced partnerships look like. You may go through some really deep healing or power struggles or endings, even in relationships that don't serve your evolution. You also may feel a deep urge to connect people connect with people on a deeper, more intimate level, or just cleanse generally your space of anything that just doesn't make you feel empowered. This is also helping you redefine your career and public image or the roles you play in your profession. And ultimately, this transit is just making you feel more authentic, and also firm in your boundaries and emotional maturity. Virgo risings, Pluto will be retrograde in your sixth house, and this is helping you reevaluate how you approach work, health, and your daily routines. Transit may also be asking you to confront your perfectionism, sense of control, or people pleasing, and the fact that this is actually draining your energy, not helping you in any way. This is also a really great time to learn how to let go of any toxic habits and redefine how you show up for others and setting boundaries for yourself. You may experience some deep revelations about your role in your relationships and can help you navigate any patterns of codependency. This is also a really good time for you to discover new perspectives on health and healing in general and what your overall purpose is for this lifetime. Libra risings, Pluto will be retrograde in your fifth house of creativity, self expression, romance, and how you experience joy and fun, which means you may be revisiting childhood wounds or fears about being seen and celebrated. You may also experience some power struggles when it comes to your creative or passion projects or in your romantic relationships, pushing you ultimately to reclaim your voice and your authenticity. You may also find healing or empowerment through spiritual activities, your creativity, and generally just learn how to transmute that fear into motivation. Overall, a great time to embrace your own joy or pleasure, your creativity, and to learn how to stop dimming your light for other people. Scorpio risings, Pluto will be retrograde in your fourth house of home, family, ancestry, and emotional security. You may feel called to examine old thought or behavioral patterns related to your emotions, identity, and power dynamics. You may experience a deep desire to move or change your living situation in some shape or form, and you could also be symbolically healing some generational wounds. Healing through creativity or inner child work may also come up, and you may also experience some shakeups in your relationships through power struggles or just flat out ending them. Sagittarius risings, Pluto will be retrograde in your third house of communication, thought processes, your local community, and siblings. You may experience some power struggles through miscommunication or misinformation during this transit. Ultimately, this retrograde, though, is pushing you to reclaim your voice and master your message. Another way that this energy could show up for you is in inspiring you to approach your health and daily routines in a new way. Capricorn risings, Pluto will be retrograde in your second house, meaning that you will be reevaluating your relationship to money, ethics, values, and your self worth. You may find yourself letting go of what it means to be financially secure and what types of possessions actually hold value for you. You also may experience some significant financial shifts that could feel a little intense for you, but this is ultimately meant to empower you and provide you with a sense of freedom. Overall, this transit is helping you shift your mindset and feel more confident in taking bold and creative risks. Aquarius risings, Pluto will be retrograde in your first house, bringing you a huge transformation to your identity and essentially helping you level up. This may feel very intense and isolating at times, but I promise you it is pushing you to be your absolute best self. You may be breaking down any distorted ideas of self-worth during this transit, and you could also be redefining your home, emotional self-care, and your idea or notion of what family means to you. Bottom line, don't be afraid to let go of those outdated versions of yourself. They are actively holding you back from being your most powerful self. Pisces risings, Pluto will be retrograde in your 12th house, meaning you're diving deep into your subconscious patterns and beliefs, clearing karmic cycles, and confronting your shadow self. This is somewhat of a spiritual rebirth and deep emotional healing period for you, but it may require some solitude, grief, and surrender. So don't be afraid if those intense emotions come up for you. Old patterns, past lives, and hidden fears will be showing up to be healed and released. You could also be receiving an immense amount of intuitive insights and downloads during this time. Ultimately, for you, you want to trust your intuition and surrender to the shifts that you are going through.